everybody.
Hello.
Hi, how are we doing? I recently got back from a trip abroad. My friends have been telling me that I should do that, you know, travel broadens the mind. I've been putting it off for a while because they also said that drugs broaden the mind. And I went to this party once and I took some drugs and I woke up the next morning naked with a guy's hand on my thigh. As I stood up and walked away, I realised that one part of my anatomy was broadened, but it wasn't my mind. So I made the arrangements to go on holiday by myself, like there was any other choice. And thank you very much. And I realised that I had to get up at 4 AM in the morning to take a taxi. Have you ever gotten a taxi at 4 AM on a Tuesday morning?
Yeah.
And it's horrible, isn't it? Like, it's cold and horrible, and the taxi driver comes up and he's like this horrible subterranean creature who doesn't think that the laws of the road apply at that time in the morning, you know what I mean? You get into the car and the heater's on and it feels like about 400 degrees, and immediately he takes off and he's doing 80 and you know, in a 50k zone, and wisely he's avoiding the cars on the side of the road, but by doing that he's actually going on the other side of the road. I mean, I don't just mean crossing the centre line, I mean he's actually driving in the other lane. And you can't say anything, can you? I mean, it's like walking in on somebody else's job. I mean, he's the expert there after all. I always feel like such a pussy when I'm in a cab. Like I can't say anything, and like he's silently judging me, like, oh, can't drive yourself, loser. Kind of like he's my dad. Maybe that's something else. So we get to the airport. And I'm obviously there like at least an hour early, which is crazy, right? I could have been lying in bed, sleeping for that hour. Instead I had to make a bed on one of those horrible couches. You never sleep very well. So then I get up and we get herded into the plane and I sit next. And for a moment I think I'm going to be sitting 3 seats by myself, and that would be awesome, wouldn't it? But then it happens. This huge guy starts walking down the aisle. And I mean enormous. I mean, I say walking down the aisle, but he's like the aisle, you know, and I realise that I'm not exactly, you know, an advertisement for stewed spinach and steamed carrots or anything. I mean, I know that I'm carrying a few extra pounds, but this guy is massive. And I wonder how you get that big. It's not as though you just wake up one morning and you go, wow, I've put on 130 kgs. I shouldn't have had that extra creme brulee, I guess. And so obviously he sits next to me, pours himself. Well, he doesn't look next to me, kind of half on me, you know, like that. And he sits down and his stomach goes like over his knees, like that. Yeah, and then like he's squashed into the seat like that, and I'm wondering, there's no way he's going to be able to get into the brace position, is there? But I'm wondering if that's even worthwhile, the whole brace position. I mean, I've never seen an article in a newspaper that says plane hits the side of a mountain, 200 people survive, all in brace position. And I mean, the rest of it seems really redundant too. I mean, the life jacket, for example. I mean, not the jacket itself, but the attachments, that tiny little whistle and the light. I mean, can you imagine, like, we crash at night in the sea and the rescuers are coming out and like, it's flaming fuselage, everything, and I'm blowing on this tiny whistle, waving this little light. Can you imagine that they go, hold on, is that someone playing Three Blind Mice? So I land in Blenheim and have a really, really good time. So that's one thing ticked off the bucket list, travel, done. There are a couple of things that I do want to do before I die. One is being my own boss. I'd really like to run my own business. The problem with that, of course, is that because I know that half of my CV is already made up, I probably wouldn't even give myself an interview. But the main thing that I want to tick off is finding a special other person. Recently, to do that, I've joined internet dating. Has anyone here done internet dating? Oh, no. Yeah. I mean, it is the last resort of the desperate and lonely, but it's okay. You know, own up to it. It's fine. What gets to me is though is the ads. When I first click on the ad to this dating site, JK comes up and says depressed, and I'm like, no, like I'm really excited. I really want to find somebody. So I click on the next page, and there's 2 ads for the same thing. JK saying, are you depressed? Go to .co.nz, and I'm like, well, I wasn't, but now it's like he's a dog with a bone, you know what I mean? Like I just can't get away from it. I'm thinking, well, I'm trawling the net, looking for dates, I'm desperately lonely, of course I'm depressed. And you're just rubbing it in, JK, that's really nice, isn't it? So, I realise though that when I start talking to women on the net, that they typically, men ask them only 3 questions, and they are, what are you wearing? Are you horny? And do you masturbate? Some guys play the long game, like they go, hey, what's your name? Oh, Jenny. What do you do? I'm a school teacher. Oh yeah, that's nice. Do you masturbate? Oh no, it's not on the curriculum. But the main problem that I found with women is unsolicited photographs. If women have been sent one of these, and I don't mean like a beautiful sunset over Wellington Harbour, no, I mean a cock and ball shot, right? And I wonder how that possibly works. Do you think because obviously they get blocked, that's the main thing that happens. Do you think he goes to his mates afterwards and goes, oh guys, I don't know what I've done. Like I've tried everything. I've asked her a name, I've showed her my penis. What does she want from me? And I wonder too, if this was something that was working in the bar beforehand. Like you walk into a club and you catch a girl's eye across the room, you know, you're grooving to the beat. You walk up, hey, what's your name, man? Not into it? No? How about you? No? Okay. Reputation intact. Thank you very much. I have